Hi children and hi everyone. In previous video I explained about the Newton's third law verification by using some activities like balloon rocket and test tube activity. So children, in this video I am going to explain about the law of conservation of momentum. Law of conservation of momentum. So today's topic is law of conservation of momentum. Very important topic, children. Here, what is momentum? What is momentum? I already explained. What's that? P is equals to mv. If any body having some mass and velocity, then the product of mass and velocity, what we call momentum. What we call momentum. Here, law of conservation of momentum. Conservation is nothing but constant, and which is constant? Momentum is constant. For that, one law is there, that is law of conservation of momentum. Here, if there is no external force, acting on the body or acting on the system, if there is no external force acting on the system, then there is no change in momentum of the body. There is no change in momentum of the system or bodies. That is what we call law of conservation of momentum. Again, see, if there is no external force acting on the system, then there is no change in momentum of the system. There is no change in momentum of the system means what? Momentum is constant. Momentum is constant. That is what we call law of conservation of momentum. Children, clear? So that should be explained with one activity or one example. It is there. We have to prove it one. So for example, here, just imagine this is the first body. What is that? First body having some mass m1, that is moving with velocity u1, and this is the second body that should be having some velocity u2. And we are taking now u1 is greater than u2. u1 is greater than u2. Then obviously that should be going and collide with the second one. Clear? They make some collision and both are collided. Clear? I am showing that both are collided. Here I already told you so many times, when two bodies are participating in a collision, one should apply the force on another. While two bodies are participating in a collision, one can apply the force on next one. This one also applies force on this one. That's why here one body should be applies force on each one. Due to that, their velocities are changing. Like m1, and for m1 that is velocity is v1 and v2 is the final velocity of second one. Clear? Two objects are there, they have masses m1 and m2. Initially they are moving with speeds u1 and u2, and they are participating in a collision. During the collision, one should be applies the force on another one. I explained this thing in Newton's third law examples. One can apply the force on second one. Here I am writing now F12 is equals to minus F21. F12 means what? Force on one by second body. F21 means what? Force on second body by first body. Let us see. So one should apply the force on another one. That should be, again they are separated. After their separation, they are moving with different velocities other than u1 and u2. Their velocities should be taken as v1 and v2. This is the situation. We are taken two spheres, they have masses m1 and m2, they are moving with velocities u1 and u2, and they should be collide each other. After the collision, they should be having some different velocities like v1 and v2. By using this situation, we have to prove the law of conservation of momentum. Clear, children? So again I am drawing this diagram. Watch carefully. Very important topic. The same topic is again in interfirst year. So watch carefully. This is the first body having mass m1, its velocity is u1. And this is the another body having mass m2, its velocity u2. So that is I am taking here before collision. Collision nothing but bombarding each other before collision. Clear? And now here both are collided each other. During the collision there is no change in their mass. First one can applies the force on second one, second also applies the force on first one, a fraction of seconds. So I am writing now here during collision. And after collision they are separated. Their velocity is m1 v1 and this is m2 v2. So this is after collision. What is that? After collision. So before collision they should be like this, having masses m1 and m2, velocities u1 u2. During collision one should be applies the force on the next one for fraction of seconds, and after collision they have velocities v1 and v2. Clear, children? So after that, here we want to write now. First thing is initial momentum of first body. Initial momentum of first body, what it is? Momentum is what? Mass into velocity. Mass into velocity, what we call momentum. Here u1 is the initial velocity of first body, u2 is the initial velocity of second body, v1 is the final velocity of the first body, and v2 is the final velocity of second body. So that's why here initial momentum of the first body. Initial momentum means what? Mass into initial velocity. What is initial velocity? u1. That's why initial momentum of first one is m1 u1. Clear? After that, here I am writing final momentum of first body. Yes, final velocity is what? v1. That's why here I am writing now m1 v1. What's that? m1 v1. Then here I am writing now change in momentum. Change means nothing but what? Difference. m1 v1 minus m1 u1. Clear? So I am writing this is the first one. Equation number 1. Change in momentum of first body. Clear, children? For example, here first momentum is, what's the unit? Kilogram meter per second. Kilogram meter per second. For the first time, that should be have some 40 kg meter per second. After collision, that should be 50 kg meter per second. Then what is change in momentum? Before collision, first body has some 40 kg meter per second. Second body has 50 kg meter per second. Then what is the change in momentum of the body? 50 minus 40. Like that. Here m1 v1 is the final momentum. m1 u1 is the initial momentum. Then change momentum is what? Yes. m1 v1 minus m1 u1. And similarly, this is for first body. Now I am going for second body now. For second body, what is initial momentum? Initial momentum of second body. What's that? m2 u2. Initial velocity is what? Second body, u2. So that's why here I am writing m2 u2. What, right? m2 u2. And final momentum, what's that? Yes, m2 v2. How we wrote for first one? Similarly we can write like that only. This is m2 into v2, m2 v2, m2 v2. Then change in momentum. That is nothing but here I am writing that is change in momentum, delta p2, and this is delta p1. That is equals what, right? m2 v2 minus m2 u2. Now this is equation number 2. Okay children, simple. Initial velocity of second one is u2, then initial momentum is what? m2 u2. Final velocity of second body is what? v2. Then final moment is what? m2 v2. Like that. Here change means what? m2 v2 minus m2 u2. Very simple. So by using that only I wrote like this. Clear children? So after that I am going for now Newton's third law. In this case I am writing now F12 is equals to what is Newton's third law? Action is equals to minus reaction. F12 is equals to minus F21. F12 is equals to minus F21. Force acting on the first body, F12 means what? Force acting on the first body by second body. F21, force acting on the force acting on second one by first one. So force acting on the first one is taken as action, and force acting on the second one is reaction. That's why we are writing F12 is equals to minus F21. Clear children? F12, force acting on the first body by the second one. F21, force acting on the second body by first one. And both are, one should be collided. Second applies force on first one, action. First also applies force on second one, that is the reaction. So here F12 is equals to minus F21. So after that here from Newton's second law, we know that F is equals to delta P by delta T. F is equals to delta P by delta T. So like that, for this one I am writing F12 means, so I am writing here delta P1 by delta T. Here I am writing F12 is the delta P1 by delta T, F21 is the delta P2 by delta T. Clear? We are using the formula. What is that? F is equals to delta P by delta T. That is nothing but dP by dt. By using Newton's second law, the external force acting on the body, is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. What is that? Rate of change of momentum. Like that, by using F is equals to delta P by delta T means, here I am writing for F12 its value is delta P1 by delta T. F21 means what? Delta P2 by delta T. Clear? So after that, substitute here. Now equation number 3. From equation number 3, from equation 3. I am writing, what's that? F12 means what? Delta P1 by delta T. Delta P1 by delta T is equals to minus F21 is what? Delta P2 by delta T. Clear? Delta P1 by delta T is equals to minus delta P2 by delta T. So in this case, delta T cancel. Why? Because during the collision, within the same time only, one body should be collided with the another. During collision, just you can observe in the accident of a car and lorry. Car applies the force on lorry, lorry also applies the force on car. That is on the same time only. That is the accident. Both are collided at a time. That is the accident collision. That's why here the force applied by the first one on second one. In the same time, second also applies the force on first one. That's why here delta T is constant. We are changing. We cancel that. Here delta P1 means what? Delta P1 means change in momentum. Already I explained you. F is proportional to dP by dt. F is proportional to dP by dt. The external force acting on the body is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. Rate of change of momentum means there delta P means what? Change in momentum. In that formula, delta P means what? Change in momentum. Here delta P1 means what? Change in momentum of first body. Change in momentum of first body. That is equals to delta P2. Delta P2 means what? Change in momentum of second body. That's why here I am writing now here delta P1. Delta P1 is what? As this one. M1 U1 M1 V1 minus M1 U1 is equals to what is that? Minus of what is that? M2 V2 minus M2 U2. Clear? So now you can apply the minus. M1 V1 minus M1 U1 is equals to minus or plus? S minus, and minus of minus plus M2 U2. That means here I am showing here this is U1 and this is U2. So then M1 V1 and bring this one M1 V1 plus M2 V2 is equals to, and you take the side M1 U1 plus M2 U2. Clear? M1 V1 plus M2 V2 is equals to M1 U1 plus M2 U2. Tell me children, what is M1 U1? What is M1 U1? Initial momentum of first body. What is M2 U2? Initial momentum of second body. M1 U1 is the initial momentum of first body, and M2 U2 is what? Initial momentum of second body. That means M1 U1 plus M2 U2 means that is the momentum of the two bodies. Momentum of the two bodies. Momentum of the two bodies before collision. Before collision. That's why I am writing now here momentum before collision. Here what it is? M1 U1 is the momentum of the first body, initial momentum of first body, and M2 U2 is the initial momentum of the second body. Then total what is right? Momentum before collision. Similarly, M1 V1 is what? final momentum of first body m1 v1. And what is m2 v2? What is m2 v2? Final momentum of the second body, that is m2 v2. m2 v2. That means that m1 v1 plus m2 v2 means final momentum of the first body plus final momentum of the second body. That means momentum after the collision. Momentum after the collision. Momentum after the collision. So that means here momentum before the collision equals to momentum after the collision. That means what? There is no change in momentum of the two bodies before collision and after collision. That means even though collision is happened, the momentum remains constant. Even though the collision occurred between two bodies, the momentum remains constant. That is what we call actually law of conservation of momentum. Law of conservation of momentum. In a collision, momentum before the collision equals to momentum after the collision is called law of conservation of momentum. This is the another definition. But I told first time what is that? If there is no net force, if there is no external force, tell me here, this is the first body and this is the second body, collide each other. That means what? It applies the 10 newtons and this also applies the 10 newtons. 10 plus 10 is equals to minus 10. So net value of what it is? So we will take 10 is equals to 10, then what, right? 10 minus 10 is equals to 0. That means the net force is nothing but here 10 plus of minus 10. What is the net force? One should apply the force on another one. Both are collided. Each one applies the force of 10 newtons. The net force is what? 10 plus of minus 10. That value is 0. That means here collision occurred. One should apply the force on another, but there is no net force. When there is no net force, momentum before the collision equals to momentum after the collision. This is what we call law of conservation of momentum. Law of conservation of momentum. Children, again see once, very important children, what is law of conservation of momentum? If there is no external force acting on the system, the momentum remains constant. The momentum of the system remains constant. It means that momentum before collision equals to momentum after the collision. That is what we call law of conservation of momentum. To prove that, we are taking one example here. We are taking two spheres. They have masses m1 and m2. Before collision, they have initial velocities u1 and u2. After the collision, they have velocities v1 and v2. And during the collision, one should apply the force on another one. That is the situation here. That should be shown like this. First body mass m1, its velocity is u1, initial velocity, and second body mass is m2, its initial velocity is u2, and one should apply the force on another. Due to that, their velocities are changes like v1 and v2. To derive this one, we must know about the definition of momentum. What is definition of momentum? Mass into velocity. Mass into velocity, what we call momentum. By using that formula, we are writing the initial momentum as m1 u1, final momentum is of first body is m1 v1. Now initial momentum of the first body and final momentum of the first body, then change in momentum is what? m1 v1 minus m1 u1. Change in momentum of the first body should be taken as delta p1. Delta p1, we are writing m1 v1 minus m1 u1. m1 v1 minus m1 u1, that is the equation number 1. And similarly now for second body. For second body, initial moment is what? Again same thing, m2 u2, m2 u2. Final moment is what? m2 v2. Again difference, m2 v2 minus m2 u2, that is the change in momentum. Change in momentum, that should be taken as delta p2. So here equation number 2. After that we are taking the Newton's third law, action is equals to minus reaction. According to that we are writing F12 is equals to minus F21. F12 is equals to minus F21, equation number 3. Here F12 means what? Force acting on first one by second body, that is F12. And F21, force acting on second body by first one, that is minus F21. And again by using Newton's second law, F is equals to delta P by delta T. The external force acting on the body is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. The delta P means what? Change in momentum. By using that we are taking now F12 as delta P1 by delta T, and F21 is equals to delta P2 by delta T. And after that we are substituting these two values in this equation. Then what do you get? Delta P1 by delta T is equals to minus delta P2 by delta T. Here time of action of force is same for two objects. Time of action should be same. One should be applies the force on another one within the same time. That's why delta T must be cancel each other. Then what do you have? Delta P1 is equals to minus delta P2. Here delta P1 is change in momentum of first body, and delta P2 is change in momentum of second one. And delta P1 means what? This one, m1 u1 minus m1 u1. Delta P2 means what? m2 v2 minus m2 u2. We have to substitute these equations in this one like this, substituted. After that we are applying the minus, minus of plus minus, minus of minus plus, and we are writing now v2, I mean here minus it is there, we are taking that side, m2 v2 minus it is now plus m1 v1 plus m2 v2, that is equals to m2 u2, and this is minus, we will bring the other side plus. So here we are showing that we are taking this one this side and this should be this side. Then what we get? m1 v1 plus m2 v2, that is equals to m1 u1 plus m2 u2. Here this term means that what it is? Momentum before the collision, and this term means what? Momentum after the collision. Children, in this way we can prove that law of conservation of momentum. I hope you understand. So if you can understand this topic, like, share and comment the video, and subscribe to my channel for latest updates, and press the bell icon for latest notifications. See you children, we will meet in the next video with next topic. Bye, take care.